trading Kemba Walker and a first-round pick to Oklahoma City for Horford, Moses Brown, and a second. So, Nick, what do you make of this trade?
All right, so this is a financial move. Kemba's got 2 years, $73 million left on his deal. Horford has 2 years left on his deal as well, but the last year's only partially guaranteed. So Horford, it's 2 years, $41 million. So the Celtics save about $32 million. A lot of that against the cap, obviously. They sacrifice a first-round pick to do it. Kemba won't be in Oklahoma City for long. They will move on. You know, Presti will figure something out in Presti's ongoing quest to one day have every first-round pick of a draft. He now has 3 in this draft. They have like 38 picks over the next 5 drafts. They'll move Kemba for another pick or at least something, or second round pick something. What it means for the Celtics, Wilds, your team, is this is the new GM, Brad Stevens, trying to undo some of the mess the old GM, Danny Ainge, left him. So I think that it's unfortunate for Kemba, and Brandon,
That's
you
tough.
can talk about this. His body's not right. Kimba's not a bad player,
Yeah.
but he's paid so much with a bad knee that they got to move on.
Well, I feel like in Beantown, this is bittersweet because this was supposed to work out. Kemba in Charlotte was phenomenal. They make this move, and now you're talking about you could potentially have a big 3, Brown, Tatum, and Kemba, and that knee just derailed the whole operation that they tried to create with those 3 guys. But I actually liked it when they made this move 2 years ago. So I feel like it's a bittersweet moment in Beantown, Wilds, because this was supposed to work out.
Yeah, I like Kemba. He's a UConn guy. I'm from Connecticut, so I have like fond memories of Kemba, and I hope he continues to heal up and have a great career. I want to kind of connect this to the Patriots, Nick, because we saw the Patriots come out of a disappointing season, and once free agency opened up, they started making moves aggressively. And in the last week, we've seen a lot of coaches being moved. We've seen a lot of executive transactions, but this is the first player movement we've seen. It makes me think, and I want your take on this, do you think there's other big moves coming from Brad Stevens? The fact that he was quickly able to move Kemba, do we think, and you know what I'm talking about, do you think either Tatum or Jaylen Brown is going to be on the move, or is someone a new big free agent or trade coming into Boston?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Boston has never been a free agent destination. Al Horford is actually one of the only free agents to opt to go there, and then he left to Philly, and now he's back. So I think this is what Brad Stevens trying to do. I don't think Tatum and Brown are leaving ever. Or I shouldn't say ever, but no time soon. I think they are going to be there. Brad Stevens understands that with both of their mega extensions kicking in, that cap space is dwindling. And so your flexibility is dwindling. So going from Kemba's salary to a lower Horford salary next year and then a far lower partial guarantee the following year gives you some flexibility. Wilds, the guy who could be moved is Marcus Smart. He's on a good contract. He's valuable. That's the move that I would think Boston might make. But Tatum and Brown are not going anywhere. I know you love Marcus Smart, but Tatum and Brown are going to be there.
Lose the toughness.
Build around
then
it.
what are you going to do? You need the toughness. You need that guy in the locker room.
Well, you know, Dame Lillard can take care of the toughness of the team. So Dame can really be the heart of the Celtics.
Marcus
so fire
Smart.
up your Dame Lillard Celtics shirts. Well, I'm just saying, Marcus Smart, just, put a call in. Hey, all right, we're going to talk Game 7. Chris Broussard talking Nets Bucks. Giannis in Milwaukee dominated last night, Game 6. Greek Freak finished with 30 points, 17 boards. Bucks led wire to wire, force a Game 7 tomorrow night in Brooklyn. Here was Nets coach Steve Nash of what went wrong.
We didn't look like we had a ton of energy all night. I think we wanted it, we just couldn't find it. And when you can't find that rhythm, it makes it even harder. And so it's kind of chicken and the egg, is the rhythm because you don't have the energy, or is it compounded, because you don't have a rhythm. So it was just not our best game.
We're built for this moment, simple as that. And nobody says it's going to be easy. Might be hard, but we are capable of doing it. you know. So everybody had a great mindset, and everybody, you know, came to play, came to compete, and that's all I can ask, you know, for my team, and hopefully we can do that in Game 7 and win the game.
Giannis looking locked in. Broussard, why were the Bucks able to dominate the Nets last night?
This is simple, Wilds. One team played with a sense of urgency. One team didn't. One team played like it was do or die. One team played like it was a walk in the park. The Milwaukee Bucks played like their season was on the line. And the Nets played like they were at the morning shoot-around. They played like they just wanted to get a good sweat, get a nice lather, you know, get James out there, get the hamstring loosened up, and be ready for Game 7. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to. And it's all in the numbers. The Bucks, 22 of their first 30 points were in the paint. That means they said, look, let's finally use our size and height advantage. Giannis, 11 of his 12 field goals in the paint. 10 of those 12 in the restricted area. No three-point attempts. Kudos to Giannis. They finally wised up. And then 26-4 fast break points. 6 block shots for the Bucks, 1 block shot for the Nets. Those are hustle, want to, desperation stats. And they tell the story of the game. And I'm going to say something. I don't know how people will take this. I mean it completely positively. But Chris Middleton last night, he looked like a poor man's Kevin Durant. And I mean that in a good way. I don't know. People might think that's an insult. No, he looked like a poor man's Kevin Durant. Because every time the Nets were like, we're here, well, we might as well win, you know, and tried to come back, Middleton hit a big shot, right? And shut it down or went on a run. And so it was just the Bucks showed up. Yeah, and the Nets did. Look, Jeff Green and Blake Griffin came back to earth, and Joe Harris stayed on earth where he's been the last 4 games. So the Nets just didn't show up.
Broussard's great. All right, here's the thing. I think you're being a little unfair to the Nets. I don't think it's that they didn't show up. I think it's that they're out of gas, man. And I think they were out of gas, except for Jeff Green, midway through Game 5, and Kevin Durant said, all right, damn it, I'll push the car. And he pushed the car. But now he is on the side of the road, hyperventilating, exhausted, and everyone else is like, what do you want us to do? There's a reason, and I know folks think I'm too hard on Steve Nash, but the reason I'm hard on Steve Nash is up to this point, he hasn't been very good. There is a reason you don't treat a Game 5 like Game 7, because then you have a Game 6. In Game 5, Steve Nash played 7 guys. In Game 6, Steve Nash played 6 guys. So you are now, it's Game 7, I guess all 5 are going to go all 48. I don't know what you do. Bruce Brown was an important part of your rotation. He doesn't play anymore. Mike James was kind of a break glass in case of emergency. He doesn't play anymore. Instead, all those minutes are being replaced by a one-legged man who I give James Harden massive credit. He should not be out there. And he is not only forced his way out there, he has found a way to totally change the way he plays, to still add some type of impact. But this is the risk you run with treating the Game 5, which was not a must-win, like it was. And this is the risk you run now, because Game 6, everyone laughed at Reggie Miller. Reggie sent a tweet after Game 5 saying, if you're Nash, do you sit KD and Harden for Game 6 and push all your chips in the middle of the table for Game 7? Now, that obviously was too extreme. But the other extreme is play KD and Harden for 41 of the first 44 minutes until you wave the white flag in the 4th. And now, what do we think they're going to have left? Now, Brandon, the reason you shouldn't feel terribly as a Nets fan is while the Nets are exhausted and breathing heavily, the Bucks feel great until the game gets close, and then they start hyperventilating. Then as soon as it's not a three-possession game, the Bucks are like, oh, my God, what do we do? So I don't know what we're going to see in Game 7. I don't trust the Bucks in a close game. I don't trust the Nets to get to the finish line. But I don't think the Nets were terrible last night. I think they're exhausted.
Yeah, I do think they were exhausted because there was a few